In this session, I just wanted to run through a high-level view of the mortuary management system. If I click on Workflow here, it'll bring up the main screen for our mortuary management system. And this shows all the patients in the morgue right now. And on the left-hand side, some navigation buttons, which we'll quickly run through some of those in a few seconds. The first thing I wanted to show you was the barcode scanner area. If you have a barcode scanner attached to your system, then you can quickly search for a particular body. So by scanning the barcode, it will find the particular patient within the mortuary management system, just to make sure it's actually the right patient you're pulling out of the fridge. Barcode scanning is used throughout the system here, and makes things very, very simple to manage in the morgue. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you'll notice mortuary administration form, or some sort of edit functions in here as well. So this is set up to put in some patient details when they first come in. So maybe the name, an address, next of kin, some other internal information. In this case, as it's an internal patient, you'd maybe have some ward information as to where they came from. And there's other information regarding pacemaker and such like. So have they got a pacemaker fitted? Let's pick one we've done before. This guy's name is Trevor Perfect, and we're going to edit his details. And you can see here some of the details already filled in previously. If you just wanted to view those details and not edit them, we have just a view screen available. There are two other screens here where you can add additional notes. This is free-filled text, so you may have some other observations about the patient you may want to add, or you may want to make a note of what clothing and property he came in with, perhaps a wallet, watch, or whatever. You want to make a note of that and keep that as a separate log with the patient. Now, this patient's in fridge 40 at the moment, and we can move the patient between fridges very quickly if we need to. Perhaps we want to move the body to the viewing room, or one of the 3 viewing rooms in this case, in which case we can quickly move the body around the mortuary like this, and then put him back into fridge 40 later. You can see here we've named the rooms or the fridges with a description of states of the USA, just to be different. You can name the fridges however you like, of course. Most people just have numbers, but you can do anything you like. Typically with a patient, you would add storage costs if they're being stored for a long time, or maybe other costs like embalming or pathology costs or such like. Especially if you're a commercial mortuary, you'll be adding costs against the patient and you're invoicing for those costs, and this is a way of doing that. You'll also have to keep various documents against each patient. Here I can show you, for instance, a death certificate for a patient that's been stored in here, and maybe a post-mortem report. Any sort of documents can be kept, where they could be Word documents, PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, Excel spreadsheets, anything you like could be kept in the system as a document against the patient's name and number. Okay, so you may want to, well, you probably will have a sort of post-mortem information to add in, and so this is the post-mortem screen, and here we'll be adding information about the post-mortem, the pathologist, maybe the coroner, ID number, the technician helping out, whether they have a pacemaker fitted, etc. And again, here there's another chance to add a death certificate if you want to against the patient. And here's some free-fill text that you can add in as well. You can make a note of what samples have been taken and what ones are being returned. In this case, there are 3 samples that have been taken and 2 have been returned. That's important because we need to return, in this case anyway, we need to return everything to the body before we release it. So if I try and release this body at this point, it'll say that samples have been taken and the deceased cannot be released yet. To actually release the deceased, we would need to dispose or return of this particular part before it's released. So this is a mechanism here to make sure that everything is done and in place. Actually, it checks to make sure there's a death certificate in place, the pacemaker has been removed, and all samples that were taken have been either put back or disposed of properly before the body is released. Two other areas here. One is the management report section, and here we can look at a particular patient, for instance, and create a report around that patient, and he'll have some details around the patient and where they've been stored, what property, etc. they came in with, if anything, any costs associated with the patient and such like. There are other management reports we can put through here, and this is a list of all deceased logged between these times and dates, so we can set up something maybe from January the 5th to now, and then have a list of all people logged through the mortuary. So these sort of management function reports are useful to see the busyness of the morgue and what costs are being incurred. So this can be, all these reports can be changed very, very quickly to suit your exact needs. The last area I want to show you very briefly is the viewing rooms setup, and this is more like a diary entry system, in fact. So if we have some patients here, we want to show, put them into a viewing room at a particular time. So we would reserve the room for Mr. Lamb at 12 o'clock. So that's then reserved for an hour. We could put another patient in the next slot after that. And if we want to move the patients around within this system, we can just pick it up and move it quite easily with the mouse. As and when we want to release that room, if we wanted to use that slot for something else, and put the remove him from the diary entry system here, we just remove the entry by putting the name over this sign here, and that would remove the entry altogether. So we can remove Lamb by doing the same thing. And of course, the viewing rooms can be set for any day you like, in any year, any month in any year. So that's all perfectly possible as well. Okay, so that's a very flexible system for setting up and patients being looked at and viewed as required in the viewing rooms. Okay, so that's a quick run through the mortuary management system. If you want to see more details, then please contact us, and the contact details are all on autoscribe informatics.com. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.